Hey, so my name is Mrs. McCarlie, and I'm doing today's segment of Teachers Teach. So this is my first year teaching here at Salem Hills. I teach sewing and fashion design. I also teach child development, adult roles, and financial literacy. There you guys are. And I also teach the preschool class. So it's been a great year, and I'm excited to share a little bit with you guys about the importance of eye contact, handshakes during job interviews, so all of that fun stuff. Okay, so a lot of you guys probably have jobs. Some of you are probably in the process of looking for a job. And one really important part of getting a job is the interview. So obviously it's the first impression that you put forward, and sometimes it can seem kind of intimidating or nerve-wracking when you're going in for a job interview, just because it's sort of an awkward situation because you're with somebody that you probably don't know very well, and they're asking you a lot of questions, and so you kind of have to be prepared for what they're going to ask you. So I'm going to show a little video clip from some of our administration here. So part of their job is to hire teachers, and so they're the experts on this, and they are going to share with us some information about what they're looking for and some advice on how to do well in a job interview.
Okay, some really fun things to think about are things that might help you as you're doing an interview. First of all, is know what job you're applying for. Do some research, really find out extra things about the company or the organization that you're going to do the interview with. Find out a little more about them so that when you go in, you can highlight what part of you matches what they do well, and figure out how you fit so that you're showing them that you're the best fit. Another thing is to be sure you know your strengths and really play to those and try to be kind of super aware of what your individual strengths are, not the generic ones, but figure out, what am I good at that I can really show people will add to their plan and their organization. Things to not do, well, one thing to do before you go in is to practice. If you do a little practice run with someone you trust, have them interview you, have them ask the questions they might ask you, and then practice your answers so that you have them give you feedback on anything you might do that's kind of awkward or a little different. When you're doing that, you'll find out I say sometimes a little too much. And so when I did my practice run, we found out that I was saying that, and then I worked on that. And sometimes I catch myself still, even now, starting to say as I'm thinking about things. So little things, quirky things that you don't know that you do, you can find out when you practice. And then it's weird to practice, it feels awkward, but it's really helpful as you go forward.
Okay, so job interviews. So eye contact, make sure you always look them in the eye, smile, be willing to make fun of yourself. They also have a sense of humor, and don't say like that. It's kind of I do it all the time, so just kind of think about those things. I'm not even making eye contact, so I'm doing all the things I told you you shouldn't do. But eye contact, positivity, smile, and just have fun with it. We really look for people that are excited and have fun and have a sense of humor and aren't afraid to make fun of themselves. And those kind of things score really high rather than the perfect answer every time. You're not going to have the perfect answer every time. So yeah, think about it. Do the best you can, smile, have fun with it.
My tip would be this, be yourself. Don't get too worried, don't get too anxious, and it's hard, I understand that, but just try to enjoy the moment, have fun. And one of the things I would say is we generally ask what's a strength and a weakness. And I would say, if your strength is you love math, but your weakness is you hate kids, that's not a good combination to be a teacher. So just realize that sometimes you're going to ask you questions that might make you feel a little questioned or a little stressed. I would say just make sure that you take your time and answer it. My weakness is I love chocolate. Maybe that's not good for me, or something like that would be a better answer than I hate kids. Anyway, just enjoy the experience. It's fun. Have fun and enjoy it. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. So they had some really great advice, and hopefully you took something away from that to say, okay, when I interview and when I'm interviewing for a job, I'm going to try that. So a couple other things that I wanted to bring up, little words of advice. When you go in for a job interview, obviously you're making a first impression. So you want to kind of dress up for the occasion, to wear business, professional clothing, business casual, and also depending on what job you're going for, you should be able to kind of gauge like how professional the setting is going to be. And when you go in for the job interview, chances are they're probably going to shake your hand. So part of this segment is they wanted me to talk about handshakes. And so when you're shaking somebody's hand, you want to try and make eye contact with them, smile at them, and chances are they're going to introduce themselves and tell you their name. And it's always good to repeat back their name just because it helps you remember. Because there's so many times when people tell me their name and it just goes like right past me and I totally forget. So when you shake their hand, repeat their name back to them, and that'll help you remember their name. And so when you sit down to interview, sometimes we tend to, like when we're a little bit anxious or nervous, maybe like do stuff with our hands or check our watch or look at our phone. So just do your best. I'm kind of nervous right now, so you probably noticed that. Just to like be calm, take a deep breath, and not do anything that would be distracting if you're nervous. And also, it's important because body language says a lot. So you don't want to go in and just cross your arms and like sit back or put your hand on this and put your head over here because it kind of makes you look bored. So just have good posture, sit up, and as you're talking with them, smile, interact, and that will be sure to give you a good impression. So, okay, we're going to practice. I'm going to have two of our friends come up, and we're going to do one good interview situation, and then we're going to do one not so good interview situation. So you guys can decide which one is which. Okay, so all right, come on up.
Do you want bad or good?
We'll do good first.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds like a good
so usually when they walk in, they'll probably shake your hand and they'll say, hi, so what's your name?
Hi, I'm Emma.
Emma, okay, nice to meet you.
sorry.
Okay, so Emma, okay, let's say you're interviewing for a job at Chick-fil-A. Okay, so what made you interested in applying for this job?
Because I've been to Chick-fil-A before and it seems they have a really good staff and I want to be a part of that really good staff. And so I want to put an effort into this job.
Okay, awesome. So what do you think makes you a good candidate for this job?
I've worked really hard. I don't know what to say, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm putting her on the spot, so it's kind of tricky. You can think about it for a second.
I'm a really hard worker. I keep up with my tasks, and I'm always on time.
Okay, awesome. So let's see, what are some other questions they would probably ask you? What is a quality or characteristic that you feel like would make you a good employee here at Chick-fil-A?
I'm a nice person. I'm always happy. I'm always a happy environment. That will make everyone else happy, make them want to work, love their job.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Usually the interview would last longer, but we'll change over for now. Okay, so awesome. Good job. So she did a great job of looking me in the eye, answering the questions. And so when you're interviewing with somebody, you'll want to make sure that you are, making eye contact, smiling at them, and make sure you pay attention to the question that they're asking, because sometimes when I get nervous, I don't necessarily, sometimes I forget what the people are saying, so make sure you're listening. Okay, we'll hurry and do our other example. Okay, all right. Okay, hi, what's your name?
I'm Riley. What's your name?
Okay, I'm Mrs. McCarlie. Nice to meet you. Okay, so why did you apply for the job here at Chick-fil-A?
Because I need a job, because I need money, because I crashed my dad's car the other weekend. So I have to pay that off.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so what do you feel like makes you a good candidate?
I sometimes am nice to people. When they need something, I usually get it for them if I feel like it.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. So this obviously was the not so good example. So yeah, make sure when you go in that you don't have a sucker. And make sure.
I forgot about that.
Okay, anyways, well, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one. See ya.
I'm vegan.